Hi, everybody. I'm San Francisco Mayor London Breed, and I'm really excited to be here today. And I want to thank members of the Community College Board of Trustees for joining us, including the president and other members. I think Brigitte Davali, am I saying it? Davala, thank you. And then we have former trustees, Tom Temprano. This is the seat that we are filling today. Thank you so much. John Rizzo and Alan Wong are joining us, as well as Alex Randolph, who served on the Community College Board of Trustees. And we have our Chancellor, David Martin. So many wonderful people who helped to keep this community college running the way that we know that it should. And thank you. I see members of ATF, the union, who are joining us here today as well. It's been some time since our member, Tom Temprano, had to vacate his seat to the Community College Board. But he and I have stayed in very close contact because City College is really important to him. And it's really important to everyone in this room here today. Regardless of our differences of opinions, some of us in one way or another have been profoundly touched by the work of City College. Growing up, this was the place that most of the people I went to school went. I didn't even know what college really was until I was in 10th grade, and fortunately, I was able to end up at a 4-year university, but I was planning to go to City College myself to not only prepare me to go to a 4-year university, but just to prepare me for life so that I could be ready for any opportunity that came my way. When I became the executive director of the African American Art and Culture Complex, we had so many young people who were in high school who didn't know what to do, what they were going to do with their lives. And in fact, we had young people who were over the age of 18 and had dropped out of high school. So at the African American Art and Culture Complex, we spent so much time helping people register for the GED classes at John Adams campus. Some of them had gone on to not only be a part of City College, but to play sports in City College. My brother got his AA degree from City College of San Francisco. So many of us have so many stories like that, and we know that this is an important higher learning education institution in our city. And we know how people feel about it. They love City College. They want us to work together to ensure the longevity of City College. And that's why making a decision like this to appoint a member of the Board of Trustees is, of course, a very challenging one. Blending all the needs of what needs to occur was really important to me. And so I am really pleased today. I'm actually over the moon excited today to announce that I have selected Murrell Green to serve as the next member of the Community College Board of Trustees. I've known Murrell, I don't even know when I met him, but because he was a part of the community I grew up in, and you just know people. You know them from school, you know them from hanging out at Ella Hill Hutch, you know them from hanging out at the Cultural Center, you just know them. And there was always something really special about him because ultimately what I appreciated about Murrell was he was genuinely always a good person, and he always made himself available to be supportive of people. Despite the fact that he went to Washington High School and I went to Gal, I don't really hold that against him. You know, we have our friendly rivalries, but at the end of the day, we care about our community, we care about the city, we care about seeing opportunities exist for people like the ones we grew up with in our community. And so that's where Murrell drive comes from. It comes from growing up in a community and seeing so many African American men lose their lives, get lost to drugs and the criminal justice system. And Murrell, I know, in his heart of hearts, wants Black men like him to grow up being the norm and not the exception. He has spent his entire life working towards that goal. So back in the day, he worked for me at the African American Art and Culture Complex. I was probably his favorite boss of everybody. And what I appreciated about Murrell was his patience, his drive, his understanding, and how he worked with the young men at the Cultural Center and how he helped them to think outside of just their environment and what could be possible. They had a lot of respect for him. They were like, whoa, what is college? You went to college? You went to Clark Atlanta University? What is that all about? The conversations he was able to have with them, and how he got Omega Boys Club, which he participated in and now serves as a board member, how he got them to start being more actively engaged in the work that we were doing. So he's worked at so many colleges, mostly spending a lot of his time helping people with their essays, helping them with their applications, helping them and guiding them to pursue whatever their wildest dreams, and just really being this mentor, this big brother, this friend, this advisor. I mean, when you think about it, it was hard to find people who would even sometimes take the time to meet with you and talk to you about those things. But Murrell wasn't just sitting around waiting for someone to talk to him. He took a lot of initiative to work with our kids, to talk to them, to encourage them, to hold them accountable as well, but more importantly, to demonstrate that he was here for them. And that was a big deal. And his entire career in working at places like City College, working at places like Skyline College, like Mills College, just in the Bay Area, working in Los Angeles while his wife was doing her residency. He was a supportive husband. I know he's so proud of that. Working in Los Angeles at that community college and coming back here to work at Merced and now West Valley. Everything that he's done in all these various capacities at all these community colleges all over the state of California have centered around supporting, helping, uplifting students to ensure their success. So when the opportunity presented itself and I found out that he was back in San Francisco, his hometown, where he grew up, I couldn't think of anyone better to serve in this capacity than someone who I admire, I respect, I trust wholeheartedly. No one more so than Mr. Murrell Green. So at this time, I want to swear him in. You guys could get excited about that. You ready to see your daddy sworn in? You want to stand by him? He needs hold his hand a little bit on the other side while he raises his other hand. There we go. You gonna help him too? All right. All right, here we go. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Murrell Green,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith and allegiance
that I bear true faith and allegiance
to the same,
that
I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter,
the duties upon which I'm about to enter,
and during such time
and during such time
as I serve as member of the Board of Trustees
member of the Board of Trustees
for City College of the City and County of San Francisco.
for City College of the City and County of San Francisco.
Congratulations.
So it is of traditional African culture that I requested, and I was given permission to address you by my elder, who's my father-in-law. I would like to begin with a moment of silence for both our African-American and Taiwanese brothers and sisters who were murdered and others physically and emotionally wounded by the senseless violence in both Buffalo, New York, and Southern California. Thank you. I greet you today in a moment of amazement This is a celebration, and I want to both acknowledge and honor your presence in time. I won't be long. To the Honorable Mayor London Breed, I thank you for this appointment to the Board of Trustees of City College of San Francisco. To our honorable dignitaries of both the City and County of San Francisco, and specifically the illustrious City College of San Francisco, I am honored to become a part of a collective group that takes the time out of our already busy lives to provide service to others. To my lovely wife, Dr. Janelle Green, and my children, Corinthian and Providence, I thank you for allowing me to share myself with the community and the residents of our hometown. Not your hometown, my hometown. Additionally, to my family and friends, both here physically and in the spirit, thank you for your continued support throughout my life. It's graduation season, so this is important. Let us be genuine and thoughtful to the class of 2022 as we see them parade around the city and delight this season. I was fortunate enough to attend my first graduation at the age of 4 years old. It was in a purple graduation hat made out of construction paper and glue, along with my favorite red and white Hawaiian shirt that I graduated from the preschool program at City College of San Francisco in 1981. It was because of programs like this that allowed my mother to complete her credentials to become a Head Start teacher. While I don't remember much about the ceremony, I often look at the photos that were taken and think about how that moment played a pivotal role in my pursuit of education. Throughout my time in the San Francisco Unified School District, and my apologies, Madam Breed, clearly the greatest high school in the city, George Washington High School, I always knew that higher education was an option in my pursuit to becoming a productive member of this society, and that is why I'm here today. I'm someone who is dedicated to the advancement of higher education to all people. To be born and raised in this city and to still be here as a resident is a rarity within itself, and I feel that it is my calling to assist those in which I pride myself in my area of expertise, which is educational leadership and management, with the concentration in higher education. What I promise you today is simple. I promise my attention, dedication, persistence, and advocacy for all students at City College of San Francisco. I hope that I have your support, your trust, and your assistance as we all fully understand that it takes a village to raise our children and teach our adults. Please know that I take this mayoral appointment seriously, as I understand that this opportunity allows me to further assist in life transformations that not only affect students, but their families, neighborhoods, and our city and county as a whole. With that, I shall close by saying thank you. Go Warriors tonight, and go Rams forever. Thank you.